Welcome to Gotta Ping. I'm Mei Ping, the founder of Gotta Ping. As a next-gen leadership coach, I help high-performing young executives and entrepreneurs like you to navigate complex people and problems with top-notch communication and leadership skills to create sustained success. In today's podcast, I want to talk about my signature Ping method, PHING, that I use for coaching young executives and entrepreneurs. It is definitely the game-changing approach you need to know to become a high-performing young leader. In 5 days, I will be going into each part of their PHING, personality, hacker, ideas, navigate, and go-getter, so that you can get a bit more insights as to this coaching model that I use for clients that work with me. So the Ping method. Today we are going to focus on the final part, which is go-getter, and why taking action is important. Have you ever gone around and hear people talking about what they are going to do? These people are just busy sharing about all these awesome things that they are going to do. They're always going to do this, they are going to do that, they have plans for this, that, A, B, C, D, E, F, E, F, G. But do you see them doing anything at all? Do you see them taking action? Or this could be you. Do you have this kind of behavior where it is just all talk, no action, right? No action, no talk, NATO. So today I'm here to tell you that the last part and the most essential critical aspect of moving towards success and achieving your goals is taking consistent actions forward like every single day, so that you can ensure sustainability as well as long-term success. So yes, thoughts become things. We always start with mindset, but if you're not actually doing anything about it, right? If you're not hustling, you're not making an effort, you're not practicing, then I'm not sure how magic is supposed to just appear, right? And to get better at something, you have to practice. You have to keep reminding yourself that, okay, you know what, this is important. I'm actually going to do it. So yes, you can go to a coach and, get more clarity in terms of mindset, improve your self-awareness, your personality, work on ideas, get some tips, right? Learn how to navigate people and problems. Yeah, that's all great. And that's all the beginning part of my coaching program. But if you don't want to take action, then nothing is going to happen. Nothing. Regardless if you got like the most brilliant person to teach you all the strategies, but it's really up to you to make it happen, right? So as usual, I will be sharing some tips with you, and there'll be 2 questions for you to really think about and reflect on. Again, if you don't have a notebook or a piece of paper or a pen with you, now is the time to go and grab one, right? So that you can take some notes, put in some of your thoughts, your reflections that you can really take away and choose to focus on every day. If you truly believe that you deserve to be successful and you want to be successful. All right, so let's start. Question 1. How will you hold yourself accountable to commit to the action plan? So it's great to have an action plan, right? You are going to do this and that and all sorts. But how are you actually going to make sure that you are going to do it, right? Like, how will you hold yourself accountable? So if you choose not to do it, then what happens? If nothing happens, then I guess there is no accountability, isn't it? And the second question, how will you track your progress to ensure that you are moving in the right direction? Right? So how are you going to monitor? How are you going to review? How are you going to track to make sure that you are in the right direction that you had initially set out to do, right? Because you've gotten your mindset sorted, gotten your clarity, gotten your tips, right? You've decided on what you actually want to achieve. Okay, great. But how are you going to make sure day by day, week by week, month by month that you are indeed moving in the right direction and you haven't detoured to go and do something completely random that you just thought of? So what's your ability in that aspect? Because a lot of the clients that work with me, it's not that they don't have discipline. So that's something very important to understand. Just because you go to a coach for accountability doesn't mean that you don't have discipline. What it just means is that it is a lot more challenging to keep ourselves accountable, because we tend to have a lot of inner justification, because when it's someone else, we tend to be a lot stricter. But sometimes for ourselves, we give ourselves a lot of leeway. So that's why, some people come for coaching, some people they join coaching circles so that they can get the level of support. The other aspect to this is really about pivot, because sometimes, when you're busy executing, you're doing, it's very easy to lose track of whether it's still the right thing to do, or you have just lost focus because you were so busy on, taking the little actions that you forgot, what is the ultimate direction, right? So getting somewhere fast is not as good as getting to the right place, if you know what I mean. So these things, they sound very similar, but I think sometimes having an additional perspective is definitely quite helpful. Especially for me, I have been there, done that, in my late 20s, early 30s, when a lot of my peers I work with are in their 40s and 50s. So I feel like I have this depth and breadth of 50 years of someone who is maybe 50 years old. So a lot of the challenges that my clients share with me is quite easy for me to resonate with, because I feel like I have either felt it myself, I've encountered it, or it's something that I hear a lot from my peers when I was in the corporate world, because I was working at that leadership and senior management level. So these were some of the very common conversations that we have. So these two questions, they sound really simple. So big tip. The big change really comes from hundreds of tiny steps. So what you need to do is just start. Yes, some people are afraid. Yes, it will be messy, sometimes imperfect, sometimes it's chaotic, but you need to just start and commit to doing something every day, every week, and figure out how you will hold yourself accountable. How will you track your progress? How will you know if you're still doing the right thing or you're in the right direction? So all these things, you have a piece of paper, you have a notebook, jot all of these down, because it's going to help you take note on whether all your efforts are going to result in something tangible, or it's just misfocus. So something that you can reflect back on, especially written down, is always very helpful, because if not, then everything's just gonna be stuck in your head, and when you really need to reflect, it doesn't come so easily because you haven't written it down. So writing something down is definitely a very good habit to have, and I highly encourage all of you to do so. Yeah, so that's it. 5 days. PHING, personality, hacker, ideas, navigate, and go-getter. And basically, this PHING coaching method was something that I sat down one day and I asked myself, what has made me and allowed me to move up in my career so quickly? Was it one thing, or is it a combination of things? And after some time I spent contemplating, I decided that okay, these 5 things are really the magic behind the magic. And I think a lot of people don't really realize that as long as you have a good framework, you can get there, and then you just work on it one by one and make sure that you're focusing on the right things. So I feel like there is no point, trying to figure something out which took a long time. I mean, for me to figure out took a long time. I wish someone would have just told me that you just really need to focus on these 5 things and how to drill it down so that I could really achieve maximum results with the minimum amount of time. Notwithstanding the massive effort that went in, of course, investment in terms of like your time, your effort, your skills, it is absolutely necessary. So finally, if you want the questions that I have shared with you today or in any part of this PHING coaching method series, do hop on over to my website at www.gottaping.com, where you will be able to get your free copy of the Ping Guide. So it's pretty much a cheat sheet that you can bring around. It's just a quick 2-pager and refer to it as and when you need to, as a reminder. So hop on over, put in your email address, and I will send it direct to your mailbox. So if you want to get in touch with me, find out a little bit more about the kind of clients that I work with, the coaching programs I have to offer, feel free to check out my website and we will be in touch. See you guys. Bye. Thank you for joining me today. If we have not yet connected, I look forward to connecting with you. You can find me on my website, www.gottaping.com, on LinkedIn, as well as Facebook. The links to my profiles are in this episode's description box. I can't wait for you to join me in the next episode of my Gotta Ping podcast. Till next time, bye!